the Australians. We're here with game number 1 between Seraphic Nexus and Don't Leave Ooze. I'm Zeller, and as always I'm joined by Yoshi. How are you doing?
Well, it's very humid in my room. I feel as if it could rain at any second.
Yeah, it's actually quite hot here as well. It's very windy, but it's very warm as well.
Like outside it's fine, my room is just ridiculous. I think on my temperature it says it's about 33. I'm like slowly melting away.
Ouch.
And in the game so far, we've got Seraphic Nexus, they've banned out that Naga Siren, and the Barrow's also been taken down by Don't Leave Ooze. So your two typical bans have been taken out, followed by that OD. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see an Elder Titan or a Lifestealer being taken out as this final ban in the third stage. Instead, we will see that Io and the Elder Titan being picked up.
Quick responses by Don't Leave Ooze there. Visage and Darkseer pretty much immediately get picked up. So Seraphic Nexus, now it's their turn to decide what they want. Yeah, Don't Leave Ooze, they picked up the Visage and Darkseer, two heroes that just do wonderful. I mean, Darkseer is able to go in the offlane against just about anyone. I wouldn't be too surprised if Seraphic Nexus maybe pick up something like a Weaver to go against him, just because, you know, Weaver range doesn't really suffer too much from the Iron Shell. But this Visage shows that Don't Leave Ooze want to put the aggression on.
5 seconds remaining.
And that Visage, as you said, is going to be looking Christian on. There is a Lifesteal still in the pool, Gyrocopter, Rubik's still open, available. We'll see which doesn't get banned down this phase, but it's more than likely that we'll see a Rubik and Gyrocopter being selected for Don't Leave Ooze as they combine well with Visage. Not to mention, Darkseer on top of a cooldown is one of the scariest things you'll have to face in a team fight, because if you get pulled in, you've got a wall, you've got Iron Shell, and you have a cooldown, tapering your movement. All those illusions are able to get to you, and you're grouped up for any additional follow-up from the rest of the team.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah, I will say exactly how Don't Leave Ooze want to play it, if they want to just go for more of that AoE, or if they'll stroll for something else entirely. We do see that Lifestealer, Timbersaw get banned out, Unbidden as well. So, nothing too out of the ordinary there. The Timbersaw, quite curious to see why they banned that. I mean, Elder Titan against the Timbersaw in mid doesn't do too bad, in my opinion. Yeah, he's still able to send out his Astrals and whatnot. Timbersaw can be annoying, of course, and it's going to be hard here for Elder Titan to shut him down too much, but at the same time he won't be delayed himself either.
I think one of the big things is they're trying to disable any kind of team fight potential, except they will pick up Jakira. Yes, I'm quietly happy about that. Okay, not so quietly, I'm bloody ecstatic. Love my Jakiras. But Jakira is going to work very well with this Darkseer lineup. Vacuum into the Ice Puff, you have your Macropire and Dual Breath to follow it up, and you're going to be able to pull out a lot of damage, and that allows your Visage Soul Assumption charge to be instantly charged up. So in this mid game, when they start grouping up and Darkseer picks up his early mechanism, they're going to be able to take these fights, pull out a lot of damage, and keep pushing. Nature's Prophet is picked up, but against the Jakira and Darkseer, they can clean those treants up almost in a flash.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised here if Seraphic Nexus pick up a Rubik. They've got quite a few big abilities to steal from Don't Leave Ooze. You know, you got the Macropire, even the Ice Path would be very useful, but of course Darkseer's ultimate and his Vacuum would be great abilities to snatch up for yourself as well. He hasn't been banned out, which is surprising.
And so Don't Leave Ooze, they're just trying to figure out, they will pick up an Alchemist to complete their current tri-lane lineup. Who will they want to run as mid lane is the question at the moment. They've got a few heroes left open, they can go for that Queen of Pain, they've got a Puck. Both heroes synergize fantastic with their Vacuum pulled in. Basically everything works well with the Darkseer, but those two heroes, they will work probably the best. Will they have a good chance up against the Elder Titan? They will be harassed out of the lane, but if they want to try and put through that early game where they will probably lose the mid lane against the Elder Titan, and then comes to the mid game where they go for these team fights, I think they'll take it. But that's if they decide to go for either that Puck or Queen of Pain.
Yeah, this is quite interesting as well. I mean, the Alchemist, I quite like the Alchemist. It allows them to pull on some of that aggression as you were saying, and also they've got the reliable stomach concoction. But Alchemist is also a hero that can really start to snowball out of control if left alone, and I'm not sure if there's a
10
lot
seconds
Seraphic Nexus can
remaining.
do about it based on their lineup currently. I mean, something
5
tells me here
seconds
that they're going to
remaining.
go for a safe lane, tri lane, just based on what they have at the moment. Put that Nature's Prophet in the off lane, and
Reserve
use it
time.
to block, use his trains to block creep camps and stuff like that. So this Alchemist should be able to just essentially get free farm in that top lane. Unless of course they decide to put that as a very aggressive tri lane with the Visage and the Jakiro. The only issue there is they don't exactly have a reliable stun, like Jakiro, Ice Path, there is a little bit of delay. You have to, place it well, otherwise it can turn the team fight. And Alchemist Concoction, it needs a little bit of time to set up as well.
But I think Don't Leave Ooze, they do have that team fight potential, and so far throughout Defense of the Australians, all of the teams that have had that team synergy and worked together with these team fight heroes have ended up taking the victory out of snatching their hands from their opposition. However, Seraphic Nexus, they've been playing Dota for quite a while now. I've casted quite a few of their games and they can work well. They know what they're doing. So I wouldn't put it past them if they can actually do some Rat Dota. We've seen Rat Dota fail a fair bit throughout the tournament, but Nature's Prophet, he's always got that potential to be pushing those lanes. And we see that Ursa being picked up. And how do you feel about this? I'm not sure.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm confused. This pickup is actually quite. I was not expecting it. I mean, they don't have, a traditional mid in this situation. I guess they could. I mean, we've seen Darkseid mid in the past. It doesn't happen as often these days. And against the Altine, I don't know. I'm not sure how well that would go. Alchemists. I don't know. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm quite curious to see exactly how they lane this. And they've certainly gone for something that's unusual, and I think this is sort of like they have a plan in mind. The problem is, will they be able to execute it well against Seraphic Nexus? I mean, they have, as you were saying before, these guys have got a little bit of experience on their belt. Their lineup looks to be very ganky, very roaming around the map, so I'm not sure. We'll see exactly how it plays out. But yeah, this Ursa pick is it's mind-boggling.
I mean, I guess he kind of synergizes with the rest of his team. He does have that Earthshock. In that tri-lane, you got Visage, you throw out that Grave Chill. Ursa can get in close, or if there's an Ice Path there, then you get your follow-up Earthshock and then start drilling through a hero. But that's really situational at best, because you're not going to be expecting to be able to get that off every time. I mean, Visage's Grave Chill, it's a 32% movement speed drain. That should be more than enough for Jakiro to set up. But Ursa to be able to get there and then do a damage, you're up against a Nature's Prophet or possibly Weaver that's in that off lane. And either of those two, they both have good escape mechanisms, or they're not even going to be close to the engagement to be able to be initiated upon. So I really feel as if this Ursa's a little bit easy. He's just been countered by that Bane. Bane, if he gets that Great Fiend's Grift off, it will shut down the Ursa or the Alchemist in these situations. But it comes down to, in my opinion, how well Seraphic Nexus can get their supports roaming. If these supports can roam well and good early on and shut down this Alchemist and Ursa before they start getting any farm, I really feel as if Seraphic Nexus are going to have a very, very smooth transition to that mid game if they can get those good early ganks off.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you've got Nyx Assassin on that side, he's a hero who, unless he really can start ganking early, does start to fall behind. Let's introduce the teams now though. For Don't Leave Ooze, we have their captain Radio playing the Jakiro. We have CKY on the Visage. We have Mervs on the Darkseer. Yuna is on the Alchemist. And last but not least, we've got Ooze
And
on that, currently sitting in the mid lane on the Ursa.
That's... he's going up against an Elder Titan, I guess it could work. Gonna be very, very strange. And over on the side of Seraphic Nexus, we have Tesoro will be ran on that Bane, following next to his buddy in crime. Oh wait, I completely got that wrong. That will be Fallen on Bane. Then Strike will be on that Nyx Assassin. You'll have in that lane a safe laning Weaver will be played by Jabba Waba. In mid lane, you've got Kima Summer will be on that Elder Titan, and finally in the offlane will be Milamba on that Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, it's so it's a little bit to to be expected here from Seraphic Nexus in terms of laning. Sort of expected based on their lineup to just to play a safe lane, you know, allow the Nyx Assassin to get that farm, just by pulling camps and whatnot, and then start roaming. L-Titan of course in the mid lane, and as we said, they just profit in off lane. He will be able to hopefully for him, deny some of those creeps, or some of those camps if he can get his treants in there.
It's quite interesting. They've decided to just completely give up that top lane. Darkseid's not even going to go up there and try and contest it. He's rotated into the jungle straight away. I mean, I'm not 100% sure how much I agree with this. I mean, an Iron Shell against a Weaver is still moderately effective. Sure, he still has that range, but Weavers tend to like to Sakuchi through waves to try and clean it up and try and get those last hits if they've accidentally missed it. But he's just decided he's not going to worry about it. He's going to rotate straight into the jungle and start trying to get these camps. It's going to be useful. How useful though is just another question.
He's actually he accidentally blocked the small camp though initially, which does hurt a little bit. We see Visage though being very aggressive early on, trying to get Kim in the mid lane. Although I don't think this is going to quite work out. It does actually, nope. They've got a free farm lane in bottom as well, as Mlamba's gone into the jungle. So it looks like we've got 2 free lanes both in top and bottom.
And Nyx Assassin's doing a little bit of stacks. He's going to get some pulls going, trying to get as much farm as they can. They cleaned up one creep wave. Unfortunately for Seraphic Nexus, they weren't able to pull that creep wave to the next camp. And Weaver, he's doing a nice job at last hitting so far. He's 6 for 1. Alchemist though, he's on top of the scoreboards. He's leveling up his Grieving Gleed. You can't expect anything less than this. He should be going for quite a fast Midas. Have that up around the 5-minute marks. And if he can get his Midas up at around 5 to 6 minutes, his big item will come at 13 to 14 minutes. That's if you do not include any ganks coming from Seraphic Nexus. And I really feel as if they need to try round the 4 or 5 minute mark, smoke up when they have a few levels next to their name. At the moment, they're not really gaining any levels. Bane's trying to absorb as much as he can in the lane, and they're going to start trying to push this tower, but they need to hit level 3. Once both those heroes hit level 3, they need to start roaming. If not, don't leave Ooze. Will take a very early commanding stage into this game. Lead. That's the word I was looking for. Lead.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, an Alchemist that gets so much farm is certainly deadly. However, Seraphic Nexus looks like they just want to go for this top tier 1 tower, get it as soon as possible, get some of that extra gold farm. Certainly does help, particularly for these supports who aren't getting as much from this empty lane. In fact, there's the TP as well. Yeah, they really want this tower.
And they're going to pick up quite a fast tower. That's in 3 minutes. That's going to definitely help out the supports, as you did say. And this is what they need to do. When you have that Nature's Prophet, try and get as many towers as possible. Keep rotating around. And surprisingly enough though, Ursa's doing a decent amount of damage to the Elder Titan, forcing them consistently to keep using those bottle charges. And he's surprisingly enough got 10 creep, because I didn't think he'd be doing this well. He does pick up a bottle. Smoke's coming around. Smoke is almost going to get revealed. It just sneaks on past without getting revealed, and they're thinking about going top. They're going to rotate back down. That's the other supports of Seraphic Nexus, and we're going to see a wraparound. There's going to see the Earth Smoke. The Ice Puff does land. Soul Assumption will be followed up. Not necessary. They will find a kill on that Visage, and that's a very nice first blood, and that's what they desperately needed. Getting that first blood on Ursa means that Vlad's going to come out a lot earlier, and the Roshan attempt is a lot more vital.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big kill there. At that time, you know, L-Titan was doing very well. He was slightly higher in terms of last hits. That has sent him back a little bit, just because S has been able to like sit back here and get some other death. But you know, assist goal, extra experience as well for these supports who, you know, weren't really getting much. Visage, he's only level 2 now at 4 minutes in. Wow, Ooze being very aggressive here.
He's got bottle. He's allowed to be aggressive.
He's sitting at level 3 now.
Apparently. But unfortunately for this Nature's Prophet, he is a little bit behind on his Midas timing. I mean, he does have 300 gold. He's working towards the recipe at the moment. He should pick that up within the next 3 creep waves. So that will be about the 6-minute mark. Alchemist, on the other hand, he decided he's not going to worry about picking up that Midas. We might see a Battle Fury come out of him. That's another fantastic farming item, and it gives you nice damage output, and it will scale. It'll help you scale into that late game with that cleave. And Radio on this Jakira, he's sitting behind. Actually, mid lane we have an initiation. They're going on top of Ursa. Ursa will fall to the great mana burn coming out by Strike. And, oh, actually, no, he'll fall to the Elder Titan. And so Elder Titan will pick up his kill counter. And down in bottom lane, they're going back on to that Nature's Prophet. TP spot is coming in from that Nexus Assassin. Nexus Assassin might not make it here in time. Soul Assumption comes out. It does a lot of damage. They pick it off with that Jewel Breath. And now Radio, he's in a lot of trouble. He's been blocked by these treants. Great blocks coming out, but not enough. Unfortunately, that Nexus Assassin had to walk. And we will be seeing a pause.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nexus Assassin are being played by Strike. They just did not have the mana for the Impale to keep them there. If he was able to Impale there, I think it would have been able to, at the very least, get a revenge kill on, in fact, yeah, it would have been a revenge kill on that Jakiro. I mean, there's some ganks already going on in this early minutes of the game. Yeah, we saw in mid, Don't Leave Ooze, they ganked on top of Kim. We got a kill, and then Seraphic Nexus said, yep, we can do the exact same thing, and they basically just jumped on Ooze and got themselves a kill. There's so much roaming from these supports, and this is exactly how they should be playing these.
When both sides have, when both sides have such strong supports that can roam early on into the game, you need to try and get the most efficiency out of them. Especially if they can find a kill, they can get the XP. Usually, unless you're sticking in your solo lane, stacking consistently, you're not going to get that XP. So you grab it from taking these kills straight out of their hands from the opposition. And at the moment though, Alchemist, he's sitting on level 6, he's got a nice solid gold income. He's too tanky. Once that Chemical Rage is popped, he just won't go down. TP support comes in, they can turn the fight around. And it's just hard to find a kill on this Alchemist. They need to find a few more levels on these supports on the side of Seraphic Nexus before they can look at taking this Alchemist. Because Alchemist, once he hits that level 6, well, there's almost nothing you can do about him unless you have a nice, solid coordinated unit.
Yeah, there's also been a little bit of warding and de-warding going around the map. Currently, neither team have any observers up. We do see some dropped somewhere. But yeah, we should see them placed around soon. You want to keep, considering how much ganking is going on, you'd want to keep your map vision up as much as possible.
And currently both sides, they've got no map vision on the map. Currently both playing in the dark. And the way this game's going so far, that is probably the worst thing you could do at the moment. Not being able to watch any rotation come from these spots. Even though most of the time the supports will smoke up and they will sneak past, it does help you with that room control, and it does help you if you accidentally pop a smoke and then you see him due to that vision. Especially in nighttime. Nighttime is the scariest time for smokes because the vision that you see, basically they're not going to be revealed until they're right next to you, and by that time you're going to have an ice path on top of you. You're going to have a Nexus Assassin stun come flying at you, and you will easily fall down.
Definitely. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about how the farm's going for the, both the Alchemist and the Weaver are doing very well in terms of last hits, both sitting on pretty much even. I think it's Elm Titan in mid, he's doing quite well himself, but I'm still going to have to give it to the Alchemist. He does have that Grievel's Greed, he's going to be able to farm much faster than the Weaver. They're going to have to start ganking him, otherwise he's just going to snowball out of control. And
speaking of ganking, there comes the Impale. Monobone's come out, they've sprouted him up, as long as he doesn't right click a tower, or any of those heroes. The tower's not going to bother about him, and that's, as I was saying before, he's just too tanky. Visage just popped down here to try and help him out a little bit, and now that Visage is down here, they just can't do anything, and he's just going to continue the free farm. One thing I would like to see though is if they started stacking the jungle up for this Alchemist, starting getting a few creep pulls going, so then it can just exponentially increase his farm. But at the moment they're still roaming around the map. At the moment Visage is just walking backwards and forwards, missed out a chance to do a little stack, then still sitting, hopefully finding a kill. But they're not going to find anything down in this bottom lane as of yet. But at the moment, Elder Titan is sitting on top of the leaderboards with that creep kills as you were talking about, picks up a haste, and he will be working towards Jom for the rest of his team.
Yep, and we haven't spoken about Darkseer a lot, but he's still in this jungle, just stacking and pulling and getting his iron shells off. He will have his mecha very shortly, unless he decides to pick up his boots first. But yeah, he's kind of sitting on just under, well, 300 gold now. This is, once he gets that mecha, the only Ooze can really start being more aggressive in terms of team fights and whatnot, start putting more pressure on, maybe start pushing down lanes and things like that. This bottom tier 1 tower for Seraphic Nexus is already taking the damage, and here comes a smoke gank.
You were talking about aggression, and here they come. The two lion beasts of the world coming in. Got a TP coming from the dark side. He's coming down bottom. Does he have that mechanism up? He does not quite yet. He's getting close, as you said before. You never know. He may have had that recipe. And they're going to sandwich this Nexus Assassin. Nexus Assassin's got nowhere to go. He's going to be chased back. He will pop that Spike Carapace once he sees that stun comes out. So he'll absorb the stun. We have a TP coming from the Elder Titan. Will Elder Titan be able to do anything? He lands on the Ice Puff. Jewel Breath comes through. Nice Empower. Going to land onto 2 heroes. But he will fall. They will trade heroes. Nexus Assassin for that Visage. And Elder Titan's going to haste his way out of there. But there's a problem. Jakira, he's caught. He's out in the river. Will the Elder Titan find him down? He's going to come. Nice stun coming out. He's going to throw out that Jewel Breath. We might see the Jewel-headed dragon do something, but he does not. Elder Titan has more than enough damage to finish off that Jakira. So 2 kills going in favor of Seraphic Nexus.
Dire's middle tower
Yeah, good reactionary TP there from Kim. Didn't have Earth Split leveled at the time. He was level 8 and he had basically maxed the aura and his astral spirit. Do you think that that fight could have gone even better in Seraphic's favor if they had an Earth Split?
As soon as he came out of that TP, he was stuck into an ice path. He got vacuumed out, and then he didn't really have that time to line up any directions. Heroes went in 3 directions. One went down through the river, one went down, and then one wrapped around behind. So no matter which way he shot his ice path, you would have only hit 1 hero at max if they didn't already avoid it, and there was more than enough for him to start avoiding it. So I feel as if at that time and moment, actually they're going on Elder Titan at the moment. Let's see what damage they can do. Jewel Breath comes final. The charges for Soul Assumption, not quite there yet. He's got some more, but it's not going to be enough. He will just ward them off. The Wrath of Nature coming through, almost picking off. Radio will run out of there. So very, very lucky for Jakira. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see a sneaky Nature's Prophets TP in. We see that sometimes, but it's not going to happen. I always love when a sneaky Nature's Prophet TP's in, catches a courier off guard, or a retreating hero back to base.
Yeah, and Kim's, thanks to that regeneration rune that he picked up, he's already back to max health.
And the Ice Path lands are going to start bursting him down from that Ursa. He needs 2 more hits. He gets hit by that Soul Assumption. They will find a kill. Nexus Assassin trying to get a kill of himself. He doesn't have Mana Burn. He's 20 mana short. That could have found a kill, but unfortunately he had no Magic Wand. He had no additional mana. Weaver's TP'd in. I don't think this is the last choice. I think Weaver should have stayed in his lane, continue to farm, but he will get a little bit of farm in this mid lane, so it's not all doom and gloom for that Weaver.
Yeah, the Alchemist looks like he might push down this tier 1 tower. Looks like he's going to just back off. Milamba will TP in there to defend that.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So far,
So lots of roaming and ganking.
yeah, you continue. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, lots of roaming and ganking here from both sides. We've seen smokes used successfully this game, really wrapped around behind towers. Great deny there by Milamba on that bottom tier 1.
And they're going in, charge the cocktail. It's going to come in. It's going to burst down that Nature Prophet. Nature Prophet doesn't even get time to throw off his Wrath of Nature. They're chasing him down. Jewel Breath lands onto that Elder Tower. Elder Tower's going to turn around. He's going to continue to chase it, but he's got to be careful. There are 3 heroes here. Sure, Visage is almost down, but he can just turn around and throw a Soul Assumption and find himself a kill. But we got another Chemical Unstable Concoction running in with that Shadow Blade. It is going to land on the Elder Titan. Does he have any reaction? He does not. Ice Puff should be coming forward through very shortly. Ice Puff lands. Beautiful chain storming coming out of the side. Don't leave Ooze. That's the word I was looking for. Don't leave Ooze. Perfectly chaining that up. 5 heroes bottom, pushing tier 2 tower, and they wouldn't be too surprised if they want to rotate into mid, grab that tier 1 tower, or even go for Roshan.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, they have that. I think Seraphic Nexus will be sort of aware if they ever go for a Roshan attempt. But especially when you've got this on the other side. But at the same time, they will get this tier 2 tower. Milamba is trying to, at the very least, get a tier 1 trade here in mid. It was glyph though, so, and there's some TPs. He has to back off now here. So they do get a free 2-2 tower there. It's some great plays here from Don't Leave Ooze.
And what do you feel about the Force Staff, or working towards the Force Staff the Ursa is going towards? I mean, it does give him great mobility, but then again, it delays his rush if he wanted to go for that early rush.
Yeah, I'm not sure how viable the early rush would have been here. I mean, Seraphic Nexus have a lot of good abilities and heroes to sort of engage. You know, they can send out the Spirit to scout it and things like that, and just Earth Split, things like Bane's Nightmare and etc. It can all disrupt that. And you know, Seraphic Nexus, they're a team who certainly going to be aware that this Ursa can be rushing at any time. They've probably even scouted his items whenever he's been in lane, so they can see that he's not going for a quick rush. The Force Staff, as you said, it improves his mobility, and Ursa's a hero that is very easily kited. Picking up something like a Force Staff to get you around certainly helps counteract that.
Radiant's middle
And
tower is under attack.
The middle tower is going to start taking a little bit of damage. There's not a lot of vision. They're not sure where most of these heroes are. They're all missing off the map. And speaking of missing off the map, 2 supports will smoke up at that top lane. And they will walk past
Dire's
us
top
ward
tower
that
is
will
under attack.
just go down. So a nice movement being able to rotate back to get that dust off. Well, not dust, that smoke. But there's TPs coming top. They're going to be searching for Alchemist. He's been sprouted up underneath the tower. But in the meanwhile, the supports, they're going at it. Nyx Assassin's all alone. He throws out the Mana Burn. Nice Ice Puff coming out. The stun is being channeled. Will he land on himself? No, he turns it around. He throws it onto the Bane. And now they're going to start chopping away at that Bane. Bane will fall. Alchemist will pick up another kill and continue in his killing spree. He's 3 for 0. And he's having a great game so
Dire's
far.
top tower is under attack.
Yeah, this Alchemist doing so well, being played by Yuna there.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah,
is
his
falling.
farm's been pretty much snowballed. It wasn't ganked enough, it wasn't killed off in the early phases. He skipped the Midas, which I feel is a good choice, a smart choice, especially since they're playing this very aggressive roaming style. That early Shadow Blade just allows him to be more present around the map.
And now we have the Shadow Blade with that cocktail coming up. He's going to try and shut down Elder Titan before he can get that Earth Splitter off. And they're doing a fantastic job. Wall comes out, vacuuming. That's 2 heroes dead, chasing down the third hero. Third hero's going to try and TP. Can they reach him? No, they cannot. He will TP out of there, luckily. And there is counter kills going in the backline. Weaver does find a kill on Jakiro. That's a Jakiro and Visage that are currently dead. 2 for 2 so far. Now Bane, he turns around, he throws out that Fiend Shield. He's got no support though. Weaver is being chopped away by that Alchemist. And now Bane, his life is over. They're going to chase him down. There's not too much he can do. The cocktail should be off very shortly. We have Malamba. He's coming in. He's going to try and sprout, but the Force Staff through the trees to help him get out of there. Will coincidental or accidental, I should say, but it does help us to pick up his next kill in the line of deaths in that fight. But don't leave Ooze. They came out ahead. They came out ahead quite hard there.
Yeah, it looks like they were just going to push this top tier 1. I don't think Seraphic Nexus is going to do much to defend this at this point. That will be another tier 1 for Don't Leave Ooze. I mean, just looking at the gold graph at the moment, it's not massive, it's a bit over 3k. Which is still a considerable lead when you've got an Alchemist on your side. And experience isn't that much different, it's about 2k. Some good engagements from Seraphic Nexus can certainly bring them back, and they do have some team potential as well, you know, with the Elder Titan, good Banes, Nightmare, and Fiend's Grip can set things up. But Don't Leave Ooze, they're really looking on the ball at the moment.
And the crew's coming in. It's going to bring that BKB in for that Alchemist. And now Alchemist, it's just going to be so much harder to lock him down. He's going to avoid a lot of this damage coming outside Seraphic Nexus. The only thing they'll be able to hold him in place is that Bane. You need to hopefully get that Bane in place, get him in a safe position, hold that Alchemist down, and hope your Weaver's got enough physical attack damage. He's only got a Lincoln Sphere, and that's not as much damage you want, but that's expected at 17 minutes. And we've got to force stuff in. They're going on top of Elder Titan. He BKBs up. There's nothing they're going to be able to do to him. Bane does not have enough mana for that Fiend's Grip. He's going to start being chopped away. And now Visashi's on the run. Will that Nyx Assassin be able to find it? Will the tower find it? No, they won't. There goes the Bane in the backlines. Nyx Assassin will fall shortly after find the final chop from the Alchemist. And now Weaver, he's going to Sakuchi on out of there. He still has time-ups if he requires it, but he's still got to be careful. He's looking for that familiar. He will find the familiar, actually. Scumbag Nature's Prophet will steal that familiar. The Ice Puff comes out, lands onto Malamba. Malamba takes a dual breath to the face, and they're going to try and get into him. Sprout is up. Is he able to TP? No, he isn't. He doesn't have enough cooldown time on that. But just Jakiro, he's going to be trouble. He gets hit by the Sakuchi. They do find him. Visage's Soul Assumption, not enough to find the kill, and Weaver will get on out of there. He will pick up 2 kills. Ursa did manage to fall also on those backlines from getting over-aggressive. It looks like Seraphic Nexus actually came out on top of that over aggression.
Yeah, Jabba Wabba, he... Don't Leave Ooze weren't really focusing on him. He was just sort of running around, shakuching left, right, and center, doing so much damage to the back lines. Yeah, Alchemist was there at the front, but he realized that there was nothing he can really do against him, so he just went, you know what, I'm just going to try and pick off the supports. Picked off the Jakiro, picked off the Visage. I'm not sure if he got the kill on Ursa or if it was someone else, but yeah, it was just a great play from Jabba Wabba. It basically kept Seraphic Nexus in that fight.
Yeah, I believe the Nature's Prophet did find that kill on that Ursa, so he will be taking as much go as he can. He did end up going for that Midas. He's got Shadow Blade now completed on him, so after finding that kill on the Ursa, he's got his Shadow Blade. He was missing it in that last fight, but luckily enough, he did get on out of there for a few HP. That Sprout saving his life and just shutting down any further aggression on him. But there was a very heavy amount of aggression coming out on the side of Don't Leave Ooze there. And now they're going for mid lane. They're going hard. We've got Fiend Script comes out. Vendetta, Impale. They're doing a lot of damage, but is it enough? Ursa's still going to try and run. He gets hit by the Wrath of Nature. Elder Titan manages to pick up the kill with the Astral Spirit. The Macropie doing a little bit of damage, but he's on the run. The Swarm is on top of him. That is 3 heroes dead. And Seraphic Nexus, they're taking this game back by the scruff. And they've pulled back a very substantial lead. And now they're going to start trying to push down mid and see what chip they can do at this tier 2 tower.
Yeah, I mean, it seems just like without the Alchemist, Don't Leave Ooze just aren't as strong. The Alchemist is the one that's really dishing out the damage, is really bringing down the heroes of Seraphic Nexus. I mean, he wasn't in that fight, he was in the bottom lane just pushing it out, and we saw how quickly the lineup of Don't Leave Ooze fell there to Seraphic Nexus. You know, Ursa, he survived relatively well, but you know, he got Vendetta locked down and whatnot, and still able to live for a little while, but eventually fell, and then the sports quickly fell after him. And this is sort of like how we were going back before. You know, the 4 stuff does give him a lot of mobility, but it does mean that he lacks in other areas. For example, you know, he can't get that rush earlier, but he also isn't as tanky, doesn't deal as much damage and whatnot.
And one of the great things about the I already forgot the name. I was about to say it. The last still. Vlad, that's the word. One of the great things about the Vlad, it will help out your Alchemist so much. His attack speed's ridiculous. If you can get that attack speed going with lifesteal and that additional damage, you can rip through these heroes and sustain in these fights. At the moment, they're losing due to sustain. They can't stand here and take all this damage. Wrath of Nature comes through, puts them all below half health. They do pop that mechanism, and then it looks like they've got to keep trying to force this aggression. I'm not too sure how I feel about this. The Astral Spirit comes out, just got to start walking through a little bit of these heaps. The Ice Puff is unfortunately going to miss. They're going to pull out the Impale. They're turning back around. Radiant's going to take a lot of damage. He gets 4 stuff out, but that's not enough. He will fall. The Visage's Soul Assumption will get negated completely by that Lincoln Sphere, and it's still chasing. Alchemist has started to pop that stun, he pops it back, vacuum in, there's no water forward up, he's been pushed out, Alchemist will fall, and there's a massive retreat going on the side of Don't Leave Ooze. It looked like a little bit of miscommunication there. Heroes just all ran the directions, Alchemist wanted to stand it and fight, but the rest of his team, they just weren't there to help him.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, great Fiend's Group as well there by the Bane, just locking down the Alchemist, ensuring that they do get the kill. You got BKB, does not matter, I've got Fiend's Group. They should be able to grab a tier 2 here now as well, and just we see the gold graph go back down. It's currently in favor of Seraphic Nexus, but only barely. This is quite an even game at this point. Seraphic Nexus though, they're heroes, they've got a lot more experience to their team though, so I feel like that at the moment is making the difference here for their team and keeping them in the game.
And Nature's Prophet is TP to the Roshan pit, so they're looking at going to Roshan. They need to get some vision up on the opposing side if they want to go here. I mean, Don't Leave Ooze, they can still take a Roshan fight. They can still fight for this if they want to leave that base. At the moment, after those recent fights and those over-aggressions, you can see Don't Leave Ooze. They've got this mentality where they're going to stick together. They're not going to be around the map. They're not going to efficiently farm the map anymore. And I mean, look at all those drawings. They all want to go top. They're not looking to try and find where Seraphic Nexus are. They just want to keep pushing and try and work together. So their mentality has completely changed from the ability to take these fights, fight by themselves, and then farm the map to we have to hold each other's hands or we're gonna die.
Yeah, they've smoked up. They're going up in top. It was a great idea to pull that familiar over just to scout the rush. You can see that it did fall to half health, but it looks like
there's Cocktail coming out, the TP spot coming in from that next assassin. He's going to have to cancel it, and that Elder Titan will fall. And this Nature's Prophet, he's like, okay, everyone's up top, they're going for that tier 2 tower, I'll grab a Roche. While they're up there, there's no possible way they can get back to me, and Weaver, he's joined the party too. So they're going to pick up a Roche for a loss of that Elder Titan. If they can rotate up top and save that tier 2 tower, losing an Elder Titan for a Roshan is more than worth it.
Yep, and Weaver's picked up an Eagle Song, so it looks like he wants to go for a early Butterfly. So he's going very well. It gives him a lot of attack, gives him a lot of armor, but it also means it's somewhat defensive as well. You know, the invasion certainly helps against Alchemist, and when he's got Lincolns as well, he can't be, well, it's much harder for him to be locked down against some of these supports. So I quite like that choice in the Butterfly, but it also forces the Alchemist to have to pick up a MKB.
And Moonweb, he's just going to get out of the dust, and now he will be taken down by that Ursa. He doesn't give two hoots. He will pick off that Nature's Prophet, but once again, Nature's Prophet, he's doing exactly his job. Split push, grab what you can. Even if you die, you've just taken away map positioning and advantage from their side. They've just lost one of their defensive towers in their jungle. So this allows Seraphic Nexus, this opens up a lot of roaming potential and farming opportunities in their jungle. And the way that Don't Leave Ooze are playing at the moment, they're gonna have to sit together. And once you see one here somewhere, Nature's Prophet will split push, and the rest of the side will just continue to stick together. And it's working very well. They're playing great team fights. They're doing great work at slowly dwindling down Don't Leave Ooze's advantage to even create their own advantage. So at the moment, Seraphic Nexus, they're playing a really good game.
Yeah, I mean, they were looking a little bit shaky there when Alchemist had really started to snowball with the rest of his team. They were starting to push towers, they were starting to win team fights. Don't Leave Ooze was certainly looking on top of the game. But then a few good engagements certainly brought Seraphic Nexus back. Jabba Wabba on this Weaver was able to do so much in those team fights. I mean, you don't see him in the front lines, you saw him just in the back lines picking off those supports and really made sure that Seraphic Nexus was still in the game, that Don't Leave Ooze still couldn't push out completely, that it wasn't, a completely one-sided team wipe or anything like that. And it's just smart play, and now they're the ones who are taking control. They've got a lot of vision through most of their jungle still. They're still very careful of any sort of warding, any sort of smokes. Currently the smokes have been amazing from Don't Leave Ooze. They've been ganking all around the map. But yeah, currently I'd say that Seraphic Nexus has certainly brought the game back into their hands. They can be a little bit more aggressive now since they've gotten most of those tier 2 towers, except for the one in top, and especially now with that Aegis.
And if he wants to, he can start turning that Eagle Song into the Butterfly. He's got more than enough capable. He's just saving for that buyback in case anything too bad happens. And two Invis heroes are just going to walk past each other. Not going to... I've always thought that Sakuchi hit invisible units, but apparently doesn't.
I think it might have been, like, I think they sort of just passed by each other where it didn't hit. I think it does hit Invis though.
Okay. And once again, strike on that Nyx Assassin. I think that's probably the 5th time I've seen him use a Vendetta to take out a Visage's Familiar. So it's 500 gold he's stolen from this game, from that Visage. I mean, it's useful, especially since it was gonna wear off. As it's only a level 1 Vendetta, you can only use it for about, I think it's 25 seconds? 20 seconds. Not even 25 seconds. But now, Seraphic Nexus, they're in a commanding lead. Well, not commanding, but they're in the lead, and now they're looking to put the aggression on for once. Don't Leave Ooze. Are they able to capitalize on the hastiness of Seraphic Nexus?
Yeah, Seraphic Nexus, they have to be careful. They don't want to overextend and whatnot. They don't want to... the team fight of Don't Leave Ooze is still very powerful. You still got that Jakiro, you still got the Darkseer who can set up, the vacuum Ice Path, which you so love, and follow up with a macro fire. You can just decimate the enemy team. So Seraphic Nexus have to be careful, and here comes another smoke gank. And get spotted by the Shikuchi Weaver though.
That is very unfortunate for them. One of their first smoke ganks to fail like that, and they needed that one too, but they're still wrapped around here. They've still got the advantage of heroes. There's a Nature's Prophet and a Nyx Assassin. They're both down in these Ancients. If they can find one of these heroes out, Weaver's going to get caught by the Ice Puff. They've got the vision, they've got the dust. He's going to time-lapse, it will pop the Lincoln Sphere, but they're still going to... Fiend Script goes out, but gets instantly cancelled from the vacuum. Earthsplit is going to come through. Will it land on how many heroes? It lands onto one. That bursts it down. There's a buyback coming from the Darkseer. Weaver's still on the run. He hasn't popped this Aegis at the moment. Ursa will fall. That is 3 heroes down with the buyback of the Darkseer. Jakiro will fall in the backlines to that Weaver. Weaver picks up a double kill, and now Alchemist, he's on the run. He should be picked off very shortly. He's not going anywhere inside of that Sprout, and he's just going to stand there and take it like a man. Or he might run a few and then take it a little less like a man.
Yeah, he's a great play there by Seraphic Nexus. I believe it was Kim's Echo Stomp that just, I believe it put about 3 heroes to sleep, which allowed them to change the way the team fight went to reverse it into their favor. I mean, Jabba Wabba still has that Aegis. He might fall here, but doesn't matter. It's just basically like, hey, I'm back to full health. As he wants to die. But they're just gonna be able to get this mission, get this racks. Still, Alchemist 24 seconds, quite a while.
And that vacuum was a nice vacuum. Unfortunately, they have no additional fault. Macropie's down, trying to delay the push as much as possible. Icepath lands onto two heroes. They're all going to go in. The Visage Solar Something comes out, but a mechanism is instantly popped, keeping them all topped up above their death thresholds. And Visage, he'll get picked off by that Weaver. Weaver is now 10-0 on a godlike spree. And can they ever stop this Weaver? Weaver's just impossible to kill at the moment. Alchemist is going to run in, he's going to unstable concoction, it will land on the next assassin, but he gets instantly carapace back, and then the death of the Darkson will get taken down by that Weaver. Weaver's still working on the backlines, Alchemist is trying to chop away, but he gets Fiend Script by Fallen, and now he will fall shortly after. Visage also eventually goes down. Alchemist, he does manage to actually sneak on out of there, but Jakiro doesn't have the same luxury, so he will fall, and now the Earth is going to turn around, he will fall. That is 4 kills down, and that is GG well played coming up, but don't leave Ooze, and Seraphic Nexus will take game 1 in this Defense of the Australians game.
Amazing play there by both sides. Yeah, this smoke is very Ooze, which is so good. They really had that early game advantage, but they were just smoking around, jumping left, right, and center on the map. Were able to put their team ahead. The Alchemists really started to snowball. But Seraphic Nexus, they had a few good team fights. One was in the top lane, and then they were able to pick up an Aegis, and from then on, it was just they just maintained a good comeback, and don't let Ooze start to fall behind. Good game. We'll be back very shortly with game number 2. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'd also like to say a thank you to Qboss for sponsoring the tournament. I've been Zalaf and I've been joined by D2T. We'll see you guys in just a minute.